I was the shyest kid ever. I was, and ironically, I was so focused on my training, on my boxing, that all that came afterwards. When I started getting fame, when I started getting money, I became a little reckless, after all that fame a bit. But in the beginning, no, I was a super shy kid.
When did the recklessness show up? What age was the recklessness?
I think it was after. It might have been after I retired from boxing.
First, what was that?
Yeah, I was 30. I believe I was like 38 years old.
So Oscar, so you're saying from 19 to 38, no drugs, no hardcore partying, nothing?
Zero, no.
Zero from 19 to 38?
No, not at all.
Literally?
I was super focused.
Okay.
It started happening, I started feeling empty in my last fight against Pacquiao. Yeah. When I knew that my skill level was diminishing, when I knew that I wasn't the same fighter when I started boxing.
38.
At 38 years old. I was a hard worker. I was the first one to be in the gym. I was the last one to get out. I was always the one waking everybody up at 4 a.m. to go run. So I put my body and my mind basically through hell for all those years. I dedicated my life. I had people in my life that were great for me that I just, shoot away because I was so focused. And I lost a lot of friends, a lot of family because of the sport. But once I retired, once I knew that my body wasn't the same anymore, my mind wasn't the same anymore. I mean, when you're sleeping in silk pajamas, it's hard to wake up in the morning now, right? After so many years of doing that.
Yeah.
I was so disciplined in my craft for so many years since I was 6 years old, that when I realized that I cannot perform any longer inside the ring, I started to convince myself that I wasn't worthy of anything,
38.
At 38 years old. It was incredible. It was a time of my life that was the lowest moment of my life. A lot of things happened that I regret, but at the same time, I use everything that I've done, everything that's happened to me in my life, I use it as motivation. That's the bottom line.
Was your vision as the 18-year-old pre-winning anything big?
My vision since I was 9 years old, actually, was to win the Olympic gold medal. Yeah.
That's your number one?
That was my number one.
Why since 9 Olympic gold medal?
Back in '84, I believe it was, a fighter by the name of Paul Gonzalez from East LA won the gold medal as well. And so as a kid, I was like, my gosh, I want to be like this guy. I want to be a superhero. I was already involved in boxing and training for fights since I was 5. So I was already immersed into that world, into that sport. So I said, you know what, might as well reach the pinnacle of the amateur boxing, and so when 1992 came around, that was my goal for many years. Fight posters. I had nothing but fight posters, like Salvador Sanchez, old school, like Azuma Nelson, Julio Cesar Chavez, when he was coming up. He was my childhood idol, and I ended up fighting him.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was
97 and 98.
Yeah, that was a crazy moment. But Muhammad Ali was a big one. I remember I received some kind of poster. I believe it was the 1980 poster. Somebody gave it to me, a family member. And I actually gave myself my first autograph to myself, like this to Oscar, Olympic gold medalist.
Get out of here.
1992. I still have that poster that I signed for myself.
How long before the Olympics?
Oh, I was like 7 years old. Yeah, so
wait.
Yeah.
At 7 years old, you said you're gonna win the gold medal in 92?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this anywhere? Is this like?
Oh, I have that poster. Yeah.
Are you joking?
No.
At 7 years old, you signed you're gonna win the gold medal.
I'm gonna win the gold medal in 1992. Yeah.
Who knows this story? Was this in the documentary?
Oh yeah. Well, there's another story in the documentary where I was in kindergarten, I believe I was, and a teacher gave us an essay to write and, homework, whatever. And one of the questions was, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I wrote, I want to be an Olympic gold medalist. So at the end of the class, the teacher calls me up, right? And I'm a kid reading my paper, and my homework. And I say, okay, what do you want to be when you grow up? Olympic boxing gold medalist, champion. And not the students, but the teacher starts laughing at me. And right there and then, I started tearing up just a bit, but right there and then I told myself, you know what? I am going to work as hard as I can to prove you wrong, to prove the teacher wrong. That's when my motivation was just amped up 1,000%.
Yeah.
I had to win that gold. I don't remember that. And back then in '92, it was more about, I guess people respected you more. They had confidence in you that you were not gonna take any type of supplements or any enhancing type of drugs that are gonna help you win gold medals. Mm-hmm. So it really wasn't popular at the time, I don't think. Maybe randomly, once a year, they would test you, or once every 6 months. But I don't remember getting any tests done in Barcelona. I always felt I had an angel on my shoulder, and that's my mother, that was looking out for me, that was kind of guiding me and telling me what to say at every moment, And I handled it staying humble. I handled it, the fame was a little overwhelming at first, with women coming at you and taking pictures and wanting to your autographs, and it was a little difficult for me because I'm a shy kid, right, at the time. But in terms of winning big purses professionally and handling my money, and then handling all these people who are coming at me from all sorts of walks of life, I handled it pretty good. I was
at that time.
Yeah, at that time, at 19 years old. Funny story. The whole team would go to every single fight. They would literally have this, I think the 5th row for them cleared off, and so to make sure they watch the fights. But
Michael would be at the
Michael would be there. Magic Johnson.
That's cool.
Barkley. Everybody would be there, and they would leave him alone, as if they weren't famous. It was pretty odd. It was crazy. But they loved boxing. They loved the sport. And you can tell, I believe it was Magic Johnson who was more into the boxing. He would just stay there and just, you couldn't talk to him. You couldn't say anything to him.
And you're noticing this while you're in the ring.
Yeah. In between rounds, you're watching these guys wow, Michael Jordan just waved to me. Yeah, it was pretty distracting, but at the same time motivating.
But at this point, you're not famous yet, right?
No.
So this is the first fame you experience.
Yes.
What is it like, 19-year-old? You're like, Michael's rooting for me.
Right. It's a surreal moment. You don't believe it. You think you're dreaming, right? It put added pressure to me to win the gold.
Yeah.
First of all, I had the pressure of winning it for my mother, who passed away from breast cancer a year prior to the Olympics. Mm-hmm. So that pressure from America, because the media now is making me the darling of the Olympics. Oscar De La Hoya winning the gold for his mother. Can he do it? His dying mother, from breast cancer. And so that pressure for a young kid.
Wow.
Imagine.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, having my dream team, winning that too.
Wow.
It was a pretty surreal moment.
Did you have when you won? Was there a moment when you got the gold? Some guys coming congratulating. Was there moments where the champions were together behind closed doors?
Everybody, yeah.
Do you have any stories of?
Oh yeah, no. Well, first of all, when I won the gold, the experience is the best moment I've ever had.
That's your best ever.
On top of the podium, listening to the national anthem of America, and plus thinking about your mom who just passed away. I get chills now. It was just incredible. And the world just fell in love with me. After that, I became the golden boy.